Witam, z tej strony NetTrend i zapraszam do kolejnego odcinka z serii Broken Sword The Shadow Templars, wersja reżyserska. I kontynuujemy dalej. I teraz właśnie dobrze by było sobie odświeżyć, co tam się działo. Okej. Mamy już ten. Zdobyliśmy jakieś tam zapałki. Jakąś ID, czyli są jakiś taki dowód tożsamości, czy coś w tym stylu, jakaś karta taka pracownicza.
It was the card I'd found in the hotel bedroom. It read, Thomas Merlin, Gruber Electronics Corporation.
Okej, spróbujmy go dać temu gościowi. Temu tutaj, o.
What now, monsieur?
Does this pass mean anything to you?
That is Monsieur Merlin's property.
That's right. Merlin the murderer. I want to see what he's left in your safe.
Impossible. I cannot betray his confidence, no matter what you say he's done.
You're making a big mistake.
Maybe. I can live with that. A murderer? Are you sure?
Positive. Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
No, monsieur.
Okej. Czyli nie chce nam dać.
What now, monsieur?
Aha. Okej. A ten coś nam ciekawego tutaj powie?
Hello again. Does the name on this matchbook mean anything to you?
Indeed it does, for Alamut was the home of the old man of the mountains. You do not know him?
No, I don't. Do you recognize this card?
No, I do not.
No okej, tak więcej już nic nam nie
Thanks for your
powie.
help.
Goodbye.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
I found this matchbook in Merlin's bedroom.
It came from the Club Alamut. It might be useful to find out if that club is in Paris, George.
I found this pass in Merlin's room.
So, that deceitful little man is passing himself off as an electrician, is he?
Uh-huh. This guy probably has a million faces.
I... No nie za bardzo. Już byliśmy przecież w jego pokoju. No. Aha, dwukrotnie. Czyli co, jeszcze raz ma mi to pokazać?
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
I showed the pass to the clerk, hoping he'd give me Merlin's papers, but he wouldn't buy it. He's too scared.
I'll give him something to be scared of. Follow me, George. Did you place a package from Merlin in the hotel safe?
I did, madame.
And did my friend here show you Merlin's identification?
Indeed he did, but
What's the problem?
he isn't Merlin.
A mere academic detail. Give him the package.
But that is against the law.
I happen to be a justice of the peace, you silly man. I am the law. If he tries anything, shoot him, George.
My pleasure, Lady Piermont.
One moment, please.
You know, I haven't enjoyed myself this much since Greenham Common.
I don't know what I would have done without you, Lady Piermont.
Voilà, monsieur. Le manuscrit de Monsieur Merlin.
Thanks.
How satisfying. An Anglo-American alliance that actually worked.
The clerk had given me a tightly rolled sheet of parchment. I decided not to unroll it until I was safely back in Nico's apartment.
Okej. No i tak. Szczerze mówiąc, nie wiem jak to teraz tutaj działa. Na wszelki wypadek zapiszmy sobie. Jestem ciekaw jak zapiszę. Jeżeli klikniemy sobie tak. Aha, unnamed, okej. To dziwne. Sprawdzałem na drugiej części. Druga część już jest nazwana remaster. Chociaż wcale nie wygląda na remaster, tylko po prostu ma no to samo co tutaj. Wzbogacony interfejs, z tym że różnica polega na tym, że po prostu... O Jezu, pomyliłem daty. Różnica polega na tym, że po prostu to jest unowocześniony silnik, nic poza tym. No i wiadomo, tak jak w jedynce dodane te dialogi w dymkach, w takich chmurkach i też takie obrazki jak z Gabriel Knight rozmawiający. Z tym, że no tam to już zostawiono wszystkie animacje, ale niestety pozbyto się typowych animacji dla dwójki, oprócz oczywiście intra. Nie wiem dlaczego, no ale tak jest. Okej. I po co ja zapisałem? Chcę zobaczyć, czy jest tak jak w oryginale, czy nie. Bo w tym momencie, jak ja wyjdę w oryginale...
Leave the hotel with the manuscript. It was probably what those thugs were looking for.
Ale to jest głupota, bo to jest właśnie cała esencja Broken Sworda, że tu się ginie i tu trzeba zapisywać. A tu widzę troszeczkę to zrobili jakoś przyjaźniejsze. Ale po co? Nie wiem. W oryginale normalnie można było wyjść inaczej, po prostu złapali cię z tym manuskryptem i cię zabili. A tutaj nie wylezie. No nie wiem. Dziwne trochę. trochę głupie. Dobra, tego nie chciałem. Chciałem...
I knew this was no way to treat an ancient manuscript, but I couldn't let it fall into the hands of the goons waiting outside.
Cie. To nie wiem. W ogóle mija się z celem tutaj za zapisywanie w 10 slotach, jak się ginie. Jak nie można zginąć, to jaki sens w ogóle tego jest? No niestety, jak widać, wyłażą takie dziwne minusy. Nie wiem dlaczego, że co niby. O to właśnie w tym chodzi, że trzeba było się dostosować i robić więcej save'ów po prostu, korzystając z każdego slotu. Ponieważ jeżeli w którymś momencie po prostu zrobiliśmy jakiś błąd, to mogliśmy powrócić. Mieliśmy tam kilka save'ów, tak? Kilka slotów. A nie na zasadzie zapisywania na jednym slocie. No to jest troszeczkę bez sensu. No ale jak widać, wersja reżyserska to rządzi się własnymi prawami. I albo się to akceptuje i nie gra, albo się gra w oryginał. To jest właśnie troszeczkę dziwne, bo no niestety, pamiętając oryginał, inaczej się w to grało trochę, chociaż historia była jakby troszeczkę bardziej ucięta. Pod względem tutaj tej wersji reżyserskiej, tutaj mamy dostęp i sterujemy zarówno Nico, jak i George'em. W dwójce już troszeczkę sterowaliśmy Nico. W trójce to już tak podzielone, trochę tu, trochę tam. I w sumie nie wiem, no próbowano chyba w tej wersji reżyserskiej dostosować do takiego trybu, no nie wiem.
Just a minute, monsieur.
What's your problem?
No problem. If you cooperate.
What do you want?
Just a routine security check. Nothing to worry yourself about.
Oh, well, all right.
Search him, Flap.
You bet.
Hey, knock it off. Get off, you big ape.
Nothing, Guido. Zilch.
Our apologies, monsieur.
What? I had to report you to the authorities.
Round here, we are the authorities.
You want I should break his arms?
No. Let him go, Flap.
Tak, i w tym momencie, jeżeli wyszliśmy z tym manuskryptem, po prostu dostaliśmy strzała i zdechliśmy. Tutaj, no niestety, tu już jest tak zrobione, że George nie wyjdzie i dupa. No ale to troszeczkę odziera tę grę z takiego typowego klimatu, no.
If the manuscript was what Flap and Guido were after, they were going to be disappointed. I couldn't wait to get back to Nico's apartment and check it out. Hi, how are you?
Oh, hi. Come in, Josh.
What are you doing to help trace the killer clown?
Research, Josh.
Yeah? You have a copy of the clown's yearbook?
I have a telephone and lots of contacts.
Oh, well, did you find anything useful?
Not yet. I'm employing my first and most useful weapon.
What's that?
Patience.
Oh, I've heard of that. Isn't it a substitute for decisive thinking? Do you have a boyfriend?
Not anymore. There was someone. A guy in my final year, but it didn't work out. Neither did my degree.
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
Tell me more about your family.
When I was a little girl, I used to spend the winter with my grandfather and grandma. They were the best times. Warm and safe in their tiny cottage. My grandfather rolled cigarettes while grandma made hot chocolate and cakes. One day, he stopped his groaning. He put the lid back on his tobacco jar and took me in his arms. I laughed and wriggled, but he hushed me to be silent. With his unshaven chin all scratchy in my ear, he told me his secret.
What did he say?
He said, I don't smoke, but she likes to think I do.
What a weird old man.
Don't call my grandfather weird. He was the nicest guy ever. I wish I was back in that cottage instead of this crummy apartment in this noisy city.
You're just not going to believe what I've found.
It's not another part of the clown's costume, is it?
It's a medieval manuscript. Khan left it in the safe at the U-Boot.
It's incredible. Is this what he took from Plantark?
It could be, which means it's worth enough to kill for.
Look there, two guys on the same horse.
Oh, yeah. Maybe they couldn't afford one each. What of it?
Have you ever heard of the Knights Templar? Their official seal was an image of two knights sharing a horse. Whatever this manuscript means, it's connected with the Templars.
How come you know about these knights?
I learned about them while writing an article on the Crusades. This guy, named Hughes de Payen, arrived one day at the court of King of Jerusalem. He offered to protect the Christian pilgrims from the displaced Muslim armies. The king would be able to guarantee safe transit to Christians in the Holy Land. Safer journeys meant more pilgrims, and pilgrims meant trade and wealth. The Templars proved invaluable to the king as a mercenary army. It was said that they never asked how many the enemy numbered, just where they were. And as the years went by, the Templars grew in wealth and numbers. They were so rich, even kings came to them for loans. But at the height of their power, they fell foul of the King of France. He rounded them up and turned them over to the Inquisition. Thousands of Templars were subject to torture and confessed to heresy. Of course, at the hands of the Inquisition, there wasn't much they wouldn't confess to. The last Grand Master Jacques de Molay was burned alive.
Jeez. So the treasure is hidden, waiting to be discovered?
If there ever was a treasure, it's been lost for 600 years. Anyway, we're supposed to be investigating a serial killer, not a medieval treasure trove.
But maybe that's what the clown and his accomplices are after. Maybe this manuscript is the key.
You'd better leave it here for safekeeping.
Okej.
Let's take another look at the manuscript.
My tutaj jak poklikamy na różne części, to dowiemy się co nieco.
Look there, two guys on the same horse.
There's a guy with a sword and a bull.
The only mythological bull I know of is the Minotaur, but he was only half bull.
I don't think I'd like to be half a bull, even if it was the bottom half.
What's that object between them?
It looks like a gem on top of a tripod. There's a guy working on a loom. He's weaving a carpet or a tapestry.
Or a duvet cover? It's a clue to a place, I reckon. Somewhere famed for weaving and ships.
Where folk live in barrels?
It beats copper boxes.
A knight with a crystal ball. Now, there's something written on the scroll beside the knight.
Yes, but it's written in Latin. Per disciplinam mea lux videbis.
By my teachings, you will see the light.
You speak Latin? Where did you learn a trick like that?
A trick? I studied law, okay? I can read Latin.
My, you're touchy. Tell me that again.
There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has 3 hideous faces.
She reminds me of the wicked queen in Snow White.
She was the one who said mirror, mirror on the wall, wasn't she? She made me cry so much when I was a kid, Mom carried me out of the movie theater.
She didn't frighten me in the least.
Like I said, I was only a kid. I didn't like the crocodile in Peter Pan either.
Let's face it, we need help, George. Someone who knows about these things.
Who do you suggest? Indiana Jones?
I know a guy who specializes in medieval studies. His name is Lobineau.
Huh. Some stuffy old fossil who gets horny over ancient relics, I suppose.
Far from it. Andre isn't the stereotypical professor you have in mind.
Where can I find this Lobineau guy?
At the Kroon Museum. I'll give you the address.
Let's take another look at the
Aha.
manuscript.
Look,
Serio?
There's a guy. But the I found this matchbook in the killer's hotel room. It's from the Club Alamut.
never heard of it. Is there anything written inside it?
No, what were you expecting?
If this was a movie, there'd be a clue. A name or an address? That's no use. There aren't even any matches in it.
Oh well, I'll keep it as a souvenir. I found this in the killer's room.
What is it? A credit card?
ID, Thomas Merlin, of the Gruber Electronics Corporation.
Never heard of him or the company.
I have to go.
Okay. Don't forget to look for Lobineau at the Kroon Museum.
Okej, więc teraz naszym celem jest to muzeum. To nie, to nie. Muzea turystu. Okej, to możemy sobie popatrzeć.
In the case was a spindly tripod, blackened with age and pitted with rust. It was identical to the tripod pictured on the manuscript. A notice identified it as 15th century from Western Ireland. It had been found in Loch Marne at the site of a Knights Templar preceptory. Ireland!
What's that?
This tripod was found in Ireland.
I will have to ask you to keep your voice down.
I'm sorry, I was excited.
Okej, to zapytajmy tego.
Pardon me,
Oui, monsieur?
are you Lobineau?
Oh, no. Fancy you mistaking me for him. No. I am the deputy custodian.
But Lobineau does work here.
Work? I wouldn't go so far as to call it there. He studies here most days, but as you can see for yourself, not today.
Do you know anything about the Knights of the Temple?
No, sir. Not a sausage.
The sign on the tripod says it was found at a Templar preceptory.
It does?
Yeah. It doesn't mention John D. at all.
Most remiss.
You don't know anything about the tripod, do you?
No, I don't. I never had much of a start in life, you see. I owe what little education I gained to my uncle. He was an optician, but he also doubled as the village school teacher. He taught me the alphabet. Wait, 19 letters of it. The bottom row of the chart was too small even for him to read, so he left them out.
Why don't you start over and enroll for adult education?
You know, I never thought of that. Do you think if I studied art and did all my homework, I could be a professor of history?
At your age? Dream on. Do you know anything about medieval manuscripts?
Not me, monsieur. I am no scholar, though people often mistake me for one. It is the uniform, I guess. They see the clothes. They are impressed.
And they ask you to park their cars?
They ask me to park the... No. They assume I am an authority on the exhibits in my care.
Whereas you know next to nothing about history.
Of course not. All I am saying is, I am no scholar. Not like Monsieur Lobineau.
Can you give me any further information about the tripod?
Certainly, monsieur. It's infamous. That tripod, that belonged to John Dee.
What's the importance of John Dee's tripod?
Dee was the most famous escapologist of the 16th century. The Houdini of his time.
Don't you mean alchemist? Escapologists use ropes, chains, and handcuffs, not tripods.
Well, whatever he was, that is the tripod he used in his experiments.
What kind of experiments did John Dee perform with his tripod?
Oh, the usual. Didn't you study chemistry at school?
Yeah, but we skipped over thaumatology. Can I take a closer look at the tripod?
What? Get it out of the case? Ah, no! That tripod is protected by a sophisticated surveillance system.
How sophisticated?
A painfully loud alarm bell.
How is the alarm bell triggered?
By the slightest pressure on or movement of any part of the case wherein that tripod is situated.
It strikes me that to call your alarm system sophisticated is, well, stretching the truth a little.
It has never failed yet. The sophistication is in its simplicity.
Have you ever heard of the Club Alamut?
Oh no, I don't frequent places like that.
Do you recognize this ID pass?
No.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, monsieur. Is there any reason why I should?
I guess not. Thanks for your help.
Okej.
A metal rod attached to the wall was connected to the window. Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur?
Aha, to już wyczerpaliśmy.
Thanks for your help.
Wyczerpaliśmy wszystkie dialogi. Raczej już nic nie zrobimy. Nie, to nie to.
Hi. I've been to the Crew Museum.
Did you speak to Lobineau?
No, he wasn't there. Let's take another look at the manuscript.
A, serio?
There's a woman, but a knife and through.
Dlaczego nie mogę tego
There's a guy.
pominąć? Po prostu tak sobie.
Look
I found the tripod.
where?
In the museum. It belonged to the Templars. It was dug up in Ireland at a place called Loch Marn.
I have heard of Loch Marn. I read an article about the castle. Take a look for yourself.
A popular gossip magazine. You read that rubbish?
No, I write it.
Professor Nigel Pegram, excavating the medieval castle at Loch Marn. That's strange.
What?
He resigned his chair at Durham University in order to devote his time to the excavation. Not only that, but he canceled the filming of a 4th series of his popular television program. This site at Loch Marn must be awful important to him.
He's a professor of history. They're all cuckoo.
All the same, I'd like to talk to this Professor Pegram. How do you feel about a trip to Ireland?
Disappointed.
Huh?
That I won't be going. I want to follow up the Bellotta case. If you really think Picram's dam is important, why don't you visit Loch Marn?
On my own? I'm not so sure about that. Where is Ireland exactly? Have you found out any...
Well, it may be nothing, but both the clan's victims visited Paris earlier this year.
When?
The 2nd week of July. They were both here at the same time.
Did they meet?
I don't know, but I can't imagine it was coincidence.
Aha, no dobra, okej.
I have to go.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Okej, więc w następnym odcinku pojedziemy sobie czy polecimy do Irlandii. I cóż, na razie do następnego.